Hello everyone, I am your English teacher Raghavendra. Welcome to Shraddha One Stop English. Today we are going to discuss about biography of Stephen Hawking. So before going to discuss biography, let us try to understand what is the difference between biography, autobiography and profile. And also let us try to understand what are the indicators or features of a biography. Biography means an account of the life and activities of an individual. From birth to death, a person's details, just like name, place of birth, residence, education, occupation, his activities, achievements, and death. Name and parents' name, siblings' names, place of birth, that means date of birth, place of birth, residence, education, primary, high school, college, and university education, occupation, his activities, the major contribution, in which field he contributed, or the research activities which he conducted throughout his life also come under this his activities. Achievements means awards or rewards, what are the achievements in his field, the recognitions also of that persons, and also at the end death. All these details come under biography. What is biography? A text written about a famous person's life by others. If a famous person is there, A is the famous person. If he does not want to write his own life, then B is another person. He is writing the life of A. Then that is called as biography. If B is writing the biography of A, that is biography. For exam point of view, it is major discourse given for 10 marks. You know, we have two types of discourses, major and minor. Major is for 10 marks, minor is for 5 marks. This biography come under the major discourses, that means for 10 marks. Next, autobiography. If text is written about one's own life, that means A is writing his own life details. That means he is writing about himself only. Nobody is writing about himself. If a famous person wishes to reveal the facts or life details about himself only, that is called autobiography. That means writing one's own life. The same details will be covered in biography and autobiography. But the major difference is, if B is writing about the life details of A, that is biography. If A is writing his own life details, that is called as autobiography. Then what is profile? An outline of one's life if main details of a person is written short in profile. That means in short, very short, and specific details. That means main details, important details of a person are covered in the profile. It may be tabular form or paragraph form. It may be given in the table form, that means tabular form, and if tabular form is given, we have to write in the paragraph form. If paragraph form is given in the exam, then we have to write it in the tabular form. The details of authors after poem, stories or profiles. You see every about the author after reading, A reading, B reading, C reading, or after the poems also. They are all profiles. That means very short details are covered in the text. For exam point of view, it is minor discourse given for 5 marks. Already we have discussed there are two types of discourses, major and minor. Major is for 10 marks, minor is for 5 marks, and this profile comes under minor discourse, and that is for 10 marks in the examination point of view, and it may be given in tabular or passage form. Any type of mode, any type of form may be given in the examination, so we have to change vice versa. If tabular is given, passage you have to write. If passage is given, you have to write it in the tabular form, taking the details from the table. So this is what biography, autobiography and profile. You see, one homework is also given. Write a biographical sketch of Stephen Hawking using the details given at page number 12. Personality development is the theme of first unit. In that unit, under the writing part, page number 12. So before going to write the biographical sketch of Stephen Hawking, let us try to understand what are the indicators or features of a biographical sketch or profile or autobiography, so that we can get 10 by 10 marks in the final exams. These indicators are already given at the end of the textbook. Every discourse indicators and features to be taken into consideration while writing the discourse. So what are the indicators of biographical sketch? Let us try to understand. Details of the person. We have to give each and every detail of that person from birth to death. Presentation of relevant ideas and information. In the chronological order only, we have to present all the details. The zigzag manner, in the jumbled manner, if the ideas are present, you may not get the full marks. So presentation is also very important. Once you have collected all the details from birth to death, they must be presented in the relevant sequence, in the chronological order. And organization of the data. When you are organizing the data, there must be 3 to 4 paragraphs, 3 to 4 passages, and in which paragraph you are going to organize the data. The data relevant to that person should be covered in one paragraph. Interpretation of data and drawing inferences. Only writing the data as it is not important. You have to interpret the data. You have to add some more details to the data. You have to write between the sentences. The thing you have to draw inference from the information. Reflections, thoughts and feelings. You have to reflect. You think about that personality and you can provide your own thoughts and feelings about that person. Anecdotes, events, achievements. Whatever the events, life details, that means achievements, up and downs may be there about that person. So you have to keep into consideration all those events and achievements. Point of view. When you are writing the biography, you must stick to the biography of that person only. Don't include unnecessary details in this biography. So organization and the use of cohesive devices. You see, cohesive devices, these are very important devices while writing the biography, because you have to link each and every sentence with the proper cohesive devices. You know, these linking sentences together, it gives a fair understanding to the reader. You see some cohesive devices for adding and also, as well as, moreover, to, furthermore, in addition, additionally, plus, along with. For sequencing, firstly, secondly, thirdly, finally, next, before, after, then subsequently. Emphasizing, if you want to emphasize something or some sentences, then above all, in particular, especially, significantly, indeed, notably, chiefly, mainly, clearly, generally. Contrasting, if you want to contrast to the two sentences, however, whereas, instead of, nevertheless, these are all for cause and effect also, for comparing, for exceptions, for illustrating. These are all different cohesive devices are there. You have to link the sentences together with the proper cohesive devices. Whether you have used proper cohesive devices in your biography or not, that will also get good marks. Maintaining coherence and flow. You have to maintain the proper sequence, proper coherence between the paragraphs and between the sentences and between the words also. All these indicators or features to be covered in biographical sketch. Now let us move to the biography of Stephen Hawking. You see, points to be covered and details of person. You see, the first point, date and place of birth, January 8, 1942, Oxford, English. This detail, this is the hint you have to write in the form of the sentence. You know, for writing a sentence, we need subject, verb and object. Whatever the details are present, then we have to add. If the subject is missed, then you have to add the subject. If verb is missed, you have to add the verb. Whatever the details missed, you have to add those details in the sentence and write in the form of a sentence. Okay, let us try to present this information in the form of a sentence. Who was born on January 8? We are talking about Stephen Hawking. In which area he was famous? Stephen Hawking. We are giving some more information about that person. One of the most popular scientists of our times. He was famous scientist. In which area he is famous? You can also provide information about that area. Stephen Hawking, one of the most popular scientists of our time, was born on 8th January 1942 in Oxford, England. This information, this hint is written in the form of a sentence. You see, on January, all the prepositions also you have to provide. Stephen Hawking, one of the most popular scientists of our times, was born on 8th January 1942 in Oxford, England. You see, this is what defining relative clause or non-defining relative clause. You can write directly Stephen Hawking was born on, but we want to give the more information about the person, so we are adding this, one of the most popular scientists of our time. Next, information about his family. These are the family details of Stephen Hawking. He was the eldest one of 4 sons. Eldest one. He was the eldest one. There are 4 sons to his parents. Mother name is Isabel Hawking. Father name is Frank Hawking. He was, the profession of his father is a medical researcher with a specialty in tropical diseases. Then how to present this information in the form of a sentence? You see, his father name was, you see, Frank Hawking, and his mother name was Isabel Hawking. His father was a medical researcher is there. This is the object. And what is the verb? Verb was. And what is the subject? Subject, he is talking about the father's profession, occupation of his father. His father is the subject. His father was a medical researcher with a specialty in tropical diseases. So object is provided and we have to provide the verb and also the subject. We already know the subject and verb. Next, Stephen Hawking, eldest one of 4 sons. This is object. Who was eldest? Stephen Hawking. What is the verb? Was. Stephen was the eldest one of 4 sons. Just you have to write the object and provide the verb and also the subject. Then it will become a sentence. You see, his father name was Frank Hawking and his mother name was Isabel Hawking. His father was a medical researcher with a specialty in tropical diseases. Stephen was the eldest one of 4 sons. So let us move to the next one. Important events in life. What are the important events? What is about his education? Early academic life, recognized as a bright student. You see, recognized. Who was recognized? Stephen Hawking. So you can write directly he, because already we have written Stephen Hawking in the first sentence. So there is no need to repeat again and again the name. We can take the help of pronoun instead of noun. He. You see, early academic life, recognized as a bright student. You write in the form of a sentence. You see, he was recognized as a bright student in the early academic life. You see, high school years, 3rd from the bottom of his class. You see, in the primary stage, he was brilliant student, but in high school years, he was 3rd from the bottom of his class. Then you are linking the 2 sentences with the help of but. This is what cohesive device. But during his high school years, he stood, you see, 3rd from the bottom of his school. Who stood 3rd? The verb is also missed, subject is also missed. Then we have to provide subject. We are talking about Stephen Hawking, so we can write pronoun. So only object is given, we have to write subject and verb. He and stood 3rd from the bottom of his school during the high school years. And his interest then was more focused on activities beyond the class than in the class. You see, pursuits outside the class, loved board games, constructed a computer uh, out of recycled parts at the age of 16, solved rudimentary, that means primary mathematical equations, basic mathematical equations. His interest then was more focused on activities beyond the class than in the class. You can write some more, add some more sentences based on the information. He loved board games. He constructed. You see, loved. Already verb is there, object is also there. Subject, what is the subject missed here? He. He loved board games. Constructed. Verb is also there, object is also there. He constructed a computer out of recycled parts when he was just 16. Solved also given. Solved, verb, rudimentary, this is object. What is the subject here? He. He also solved rudimentary mathematical equations. Next, the details about his marriage. Married Jane Wilde. You see, he was is also missed, he also missed. Subject and verb you have to provide to frame the sentence. He was married to Jane Wilde. Next, suffered from this disease. Suffered is also verb, and who suffered? He. So he suffered from a rare disease called amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. This disease was very rare disease. You see, research on black holes. You see, in spite of suffering from this disease, rare disease, still he continued the research on black holes. You can write like this: despite is the linker. Despite that severe complaint. What is that complaint? Health issue. He was suffering from that problem or disease. He continued scientific research on black holes. You see, this is the cohesive device. Despite that severe complaint, you are linking both the sentences with despite. Despite that severe complaint, he continued research, scientific research on black holes. He discovered. You see, the discovery is the noun. You can change it into the verb form. Discovered. Who discovered? Subject, he. He discovered what the world known as Hawking radiation. Next, awards, prizes and honors. You see, Fellow of the Royal Society at the age of 32, Albert Einstein Award, the Pius XI Gold Medal for Science from Pope Paul VI in 1975. He has contributed to the science and research field. For his contribution, you see, for his valuable contribution to science and research, he won many awards, prizes and honors. They include, you have to write the names of all those awards. They include like Fellow of the Royal Society at the age of 32. You can write as it is. They include like Fellow of, the object is given, and Albert Einstein Award. He also received. You can write the received is the verb. He is the subject. He also received. What he received, the name of the prize is in the place of object. The Pius XI Gold Medal for Science from Pope Paul VI in 1975. In this way, you have to write the biographical sketch. If you understand how to write the passage from details given in the tabular form, then it will be the very easy process, unlike other discourses. So, practice it and take another discourse for the practice. Then you can write easily the biography from the given details. Now, the last one, contribution to his field. You see, contribution to the advancement of science and society research. It was a miracle and a mystery that Stephen Hawking continued to contribute to the advancement of science and research, though he suffered from a very serious disease. You see, he was suffering throughout his life very serious disease, but still his interest was there. He was studying and he was reflecting more on the black holes. So in spite of suffering from very severe disease, still he continued to contribute the advancement of science and research. You see, he cannot move even an inch without the help of others, but still he wants to reveal the facts or secrets of this universe, and he is studying more and more on the black holes, and also he authored many books which are very famous throughout the world, which contributed to the field of science and technology.